Space Launch System prior to the planned separation time. There are abort options at every moment that Integrity is attached to the Space Launch System, from the pad to more than 3 hours into the mission. During the first 8 or so minutes of powered flight, there are 3 abort options. First is the use of the launch abort system, which you see at the very top of the rocket, and here in the White Room where the hatch is open and teams are working to close it. This particular abort capability can be used from here at the pad through roughly 3 minutes and 22 seconds into the flight. Next,
this is so fucking scuffed. What the fuck, Mojang?
This uses Orion's
this is the first
engines to escape
April Fool's update
and becomes available immediately after the launch abort system jettisons. Third is an abort once around, or AOA. You'll hear a Capcom Stan Love call AOA open around 7 minutes 30 seconds into the flight. This also uses the service module engines, but the burn profile is a bit different to aim for a splashdown in the Pacific after one trip around the Earth. NASA's expedited recovery teams are staged off the coast of San Diego and Integrity quickly for this abort option. An AOA option continues to be available until solar arrays are deployed on the Orion service module a little more than 30 minutes into the mission.
I'm gonna go crazy, Mojang.
An abort to orbit, or ATO option, becomes available until separation from the upper stage around 3 hours and 23 minutes. Mission profiles can vary depending on when an ATO is executed in that window. But with power being drawn from solar arrays, it buys more time for astronauts and flight control teams to make decisions and stay in Earth orbit, return for a splashdown, or continue to the moon. The Artemis teams are well trained on all of these scenarios, and the calls you'll hear to the crew on Orion to Earth may help them be in a ready state for whatever challenge may come their way. At this time, we're not tracking any significant issues here in mission control in Houston, Texas. That would be showstoppers for today's launch. We're continuing to, of course, monitor the countdown along the way and make sure all systems are go for when we reach T0. With that,
how do I stop the fucking plug from
the Kennedy Space?
All right, we are ready for another reading if you are ready over there.
Yes, sir. CBA is steady at 2600 PSI.
All right, copy that. And you know, the more times we ask you to do that, the closer we get to launch, so that's a good thing.
Copy.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go crazy. Chat, it's up to you.
Director Jeff Spaulding, the more that they keep on asking her how the pressure is holding in the counterbalance assembly mechanism is a good thing, because it means we are getting closer to launch. So that's amazing
Stop
news.
Following me,
that we just heard on Orion to Earth 1, again, that communication channel with the crew. But now I want to get back over to Daryl with the launch team. He has an update now on the flight termination system that the team was tracking.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Megan. And we're getting an update now from the launch team as we speak.
Can I make a pickaxe?
All right, stand by 1 second.
I feel like I can't make a crafting table.
Okay. Sorry about that. We're just getting an update, in fact, about what I was about to report out on the range. And the good news is the range is go. So we reported that they were working to verify their equipment regarding the FTS system. And they asked for a little of that verification work to be done by one of the FTS engineers here in the firing room. He went out to the VAB to get
I start to understand, but it's way too slow.
But in the end, this is a fix that the range had come up with to get clearance.
I'm playing StarCraft.
And to as well work the FTS system. And so now they are go. Again, the range is go. That is no longer a constraint. And so you combine that with the fact that the rocket and the ground systems here also working, no constraints, clear board here is great news.
Craft a minor arm.
The range is green, and we're continuing to work through the countdown. We got a weather update that came in to the launch director from Launch Weather Officer Mark Berger. He reported out that there's still a little bit of
So-
frosty weather activity that's happening up in the Titusville area. That's the city neighboring the
Pickaxe is not
Kennedy State
following me.
those showers had passed over Kennedy, and then now they're currently over in Titusville, currently still within that mile kind of constraint of flight through
What?
precipitation rule, but we're still far enough from the window that it looks like it won't be an issue. And
It's
in
super
fact, we're
buggy.
seeing some good sunlight now breaking through onto the launch pad, as you can see.
Chat,
It's actually
that's
showing on the
strange.
other side of the rocket here, but to the west,
Oh
we're
my god, I
starting to
cannot
see
even
some of
dig
that
down
clearing,
for
and that was
stone.
forecast. And so the launch weather officer held his forecast for 80% go for flight during our launch window tonight, which, as a reminder, is 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time until 8:24 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're also hearing that the last hatch closure, as you can see in the bottom corner of your screen, they're starting to work on that. That's the launch abort
Like-
system hatch. There are two hatches, the crew hatch and the launch abort system hatch. And the closeout crew that you see right there, right on time in their
cringing.
work as they go to shut.
Did my
You
character
can
have
see it
teeth?
in motion right now, that launch abort system hatch. That's the latest from the firing room. We'll send it back to the host desk.
It's way too hard to get.
Thank you so much, Daryl. Great news
Okay.
all around. And yes, we did just see them close the last hatch. And now we are looking at a live view of Banana Creek.
What if I make a
Lots
chest?
of people there, I'm sure, relieved to hear that that issue with the flight termination system has been resolved. And we are
Follow
go
me,
for
follow
launch.
me.
Go for launch
Follow
from the
me.
range. Go for weather. And go from all of them, I would imagine.
What else do I
Yes, it's
need?
gonna be
This,
exciting. The crowd is
this.
building, and as Daryl said, you can start to see the sun poking out here, and we can see all the clouds are moving north
Yeah.
and moving away from us. So it's all good news.
And so as we know, we have our Leah Martin down there at the Banana
Let's get
Creek viewing
stone somewhere
location,
when I
and
don't
she's
have to
standing
dig
by
for it.
with some other guests.
Hey, Megan, I don't know if you heard that huge
There was a
cheer
similar
just now. You
update,
heard a big rumble.
like
As
this.
soon as Daryl said that the range was
And that
clear for
one
launch,
made the
everybody
game,
was. It was super excited as we get to do some final
I don't know,
countdowns.
easier,
Sitting
but
next to me, I have
different.
Hudson and Maddox, the son of brothers here, and I asked you a
Still
little bit
challenging, but
earlier,
it was
how
like
excited are you to be here for
easier
launch? What did you
if you
say?
do it right.
I'm very excited. It's our mom's birthday, and you know,
Not a
Are
better
they
way
gonna
to celebrate right now. I asked
follow
you on a
me
scale, when it's how
always?
excited are you? Would you say?
11.
Yeah,
11. I'm very excited.
Super excited.
Yeah.
So, Megan, we've been watching the launch broadcast here, and
Could we get
hearing some of the questions
Flint?
that you and Nicole have been asking and answering, and I actually wanted to ask these
Ooh,
two
that's,
kids, if you could take a 10-day trip around the moon and take 3 people with you, who'd you take with you?
Well, I'd take my dad and my mom.
What is the
And,
pickaxe?
I mean,
Fuck.
I don't know. Probably my best friend. I'd just say one of my friends. You know.
Oh, what
Okay, half of my
brother
blocks
got
are
left out. Who'd
gone.
you take?
That was just what I was thinking. My dad and my mom and my best friend.
Oh, they are coming.
That's
That's
a
the
pretty good
best
answer.
though.
Your brother can get his own trip to space, right? So I'm actually joined here also by Dad. Now, you were sharing with me that a lot of the work that you've been doing over the last several months has been
Pickaxe
prepping the
should
launch teams,
destroy
our
it.
engineering teams, our ground systems teams, to get ready for launch, to be mindful and to be in this moment. How does it feel to be standing here knowing that the people you've worked so closely with are doing what they're passionate about, are doing what
This
they
is
were born
way
to do,
too fucking-
moments away from launching this rocket?
I mean, this is an exceptionally happy moment for us and all of us and the people that are, about to take off on this historic trip here. And I'm grateful to know that we've helped in some way, shape, or form to help them stay steady and calm, in such an exciting
Okay.
time within the
That's-
agency. And so to just be here and witness it and know
Chat,
that
that's
they've got
the
some people
drill.
to help them stay calm and steady is everything to us. So.
My own block
Fantastic.
is.
Well, Megan, we are standing by ready to go, and we're ready to cheer this team on.
Thanks so much, guys. And yes, Leo, we did hear that cheer. That was very exciting. I think the vibe over there is they're celebrating, they're having fun. And here, once they heard that we're go for launch, everybody had to run back to the camera and work.
That's GG, right?
It's a little bit of a different vibe, but I definitely think that people are excited, especially as we see now live inside of the White Room at the launch pad. The closeout crew has closed the launch abort system hatch. You saw there, we took it live. Took a lot of them. I think all of them, except for one. I think it took all 3 or 4 of them to push that hatch door close. And then they felt around
Welcome to the jungle.
perimeter of the door to make sure that everything was sitting just right.
Right, yeah, we talked about how heavy the crew module hatch is. This hatch is just as heavy probably. And so, you know, they're working the closure here.
This is 140 IQ.
And you can see, yeah, there's still 3
Puzzle.
or 5 people that we can see in the White Room. It's
Yeah, I'm fine.
a lot
I'm
of people to get this
right
these
now.
sections closed and this rocket ready to launch.
And so the next step in the countdown is that this team will start closing out the White Room. So basically disconnecting things,
I'm free.
stowing things, making sure that
Okay, never going to a
leave,
cave.
there is nothing that isn't supposed to be there.
Listen to these
Then at that point,
nuts.
it's just all 4 of the crew member, Victor, Reed, Christina, and Jeremy by themselves at the top of the launch pad.
Yeah, and then eventually that crew access arm will move away, and then it'll really just be them up on top of that rocket.
Yeah, your eyes lit up when I said that. It's exciting. It is.
I'm dead.
It is.
It's killing my block.
Yeah, we had a moment. We talked a little bit about my fear.
It's killed my
heights, but
block.
most of our crew is afraid of heights, and so there was a moment where I realized that it was just us.
Help.
You know, 100 and some odd feet up, and
No way.
no crew access arm, and may or may not have said something that made everybody go, huh.
Were you wondering to yourself, what? How did I get here?
We're pretty far up.
Okay, this is
That crew again bringing that drag-on camera. That camera is a handheld camera that is a live look
I don't
for
fucking know.
teams who are remotely watching these operations closely. Again, verifying
How am I
that
supposed to
things are as
play
they
with
should be
this? I have to
before
be
the
like
crew
6
starts.
items limited.
The closeout crew starts leaving the White Room. You see them checking their procedures.
You can see they're covering the ends of those hoses. That's to protect
Can
those hoses
barely
from
kill
pod,
a
so we don't want
zombie.
any dirt or anything to get into those while we transport them and stow them. So you can
Hey
see
guys,
right there.
all of you,
Working to close out the hoses as
I have
well
to
while
select
they're in the
everyone.
White Room.
And so they'll tape that close. You just saw number 5. Number 5 holding some tools. Again, we'll stow those away. You have to
And of
account
course,
for
they are not
everything.
following me
Obviously,
after they
you know,
kill the
they took
enemy,
that
so I have to
tools out. They did have,
G-apply
procedures,
to
paper,
follow
notes
me.
out. Like all of that has to go.
Yes, and you can even see on number 3's hat, he's got a string that's connected to his suit there. That's, again, just to make sure that we don't lose anything. If, you know, gust of wind or you get knocked or something, you don't want to lose
How do I go to the...
So
I can't even go to the nether.
accounted for, and everything is protected.
The nether.
The crew now, another live view of them inside Orion.
Could I get a voter bucket?
Jeremy, Christina, and Reed and Victor on the left.
The ramp was
side.
it anyway.
What do you think they're thinking right now, Nicole?
Oh man, just over an hour to launch. You know, there's
Yeah,
probably a little bit of a lull
it's
right
dog
now.
shit update.
Monitoring some systems, but you
Okay,
can see
it's
these
funny,
guys are
funny,
fast, so I think just
but
trying to
it's
relax,
unplayable.
and you know, pass the time.
I lost all my stone,
through
2/3 of my blocks because I traveled to 5
you know, the different
trees.
jobs that each of them have throughout the launch, and once they get to orbit, you know, this first day on orbit is actually really busy for them. They've got, you know, 2 burns that they have to monitor. They've got to get the
You have to
system
like
set up, and
group your
set up.
blocks.
So there's a lot going on in the next 24 hours for this crew. I think
Let's see,
they've got
I have like
sections where they get to take a nap.
10
but, I don't
cobblestone
think
and
they get a
that's
full
like
night's
one
rest for
group
quite
and
some
that's for
time.
like
So,
killing enemies.
you know, going through what's next.
And
Yeah,
so
I
as
guess you have
say
to
that,
group
I mean,
it, but
imagine
remember all
what
the
it would be
groups.
like to live in a spacecraft for 10 days. Let's take a
One
look
group is like
at what
food and
life will be
stuff, one
like
group
in
is like
Orion.
stone.
Artemis 2 is our first crewed mission back to the moon since the Apollo program. A lot of the focus of Artemis 2 is really checking out systems to be sure
Yeah,
that
but
we're
actually
ready and
most of my
well-positioned
blocks are gone.
for continued human exploration. My name is Susan Baggerman,
They are gonna
and
come
I'm the Chief
back.
Health and Performance Officer for the Orion program and the
That's
Artemis 2 mission.
one of my
And
couple
this
stories
is
there.
Team Base in Orion. For this mission, the crew will launch in the Orion spacecraft on top of the Space Launch System rocket, or the SLS rocket. Once they've launched and achieved orbit, they'll continue on checking out many of the different critical Orion systems, check out some of the critical
What
medical
am I listening
systems,
to?
and be sure that we
Oh.
understand how the crew would do that successfully within the volume of Orion.
The hacking
Systems to feed the crew. They have a potable water
NASA
dispenser.
Space Lounge.
And then we also have a food warmer. Kind of looks like a suitcase that the crew can use to heat their food. They're also going to check out the flight wheel system. We'll have the crew perform some initial exercises. Part of that is to ensure that the flight wheel is actually working, but part of it is actually to be sure that our environmental control systems are actually working. For sleeping, the crew will sleep in sleeping bags. Some crew members like to be very tightly bound.
Yesterday or 2 days ago, I tried to play Zomboid, but
They'll use the toilet for the first time and be sure that it's able to flush. While they're on their journey, they'll do some testing that they quickly don their suit just to be sure that we would be ready in the future for an emergency. They'll also check out our radiation shelter. If we were to have a solar particle event, we would be asking them to take stowage out of the stowage bay and put it in some specific locations on the vehicle, basically for it to serve as shielding.
okay.
And so I want to talk a little bit more about what we just heard in that package. I